Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It's Monday, so the TTPS joins us this morning on Now in the form of Inspector Michelle Lewis. Good morning to you, Inspector.
Good morning, Raquel. Good morning, Anthony. And good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pleasure to be here once again on the TTT Now program.
How are you feeling this morning, Inspector, after all the independence celebrations?
Well, celebrating Trinidad and Tobago's 62nd year of independence is always a wonderful thing to experience. All the fireworks and the parade and all that, it really makes you feel very patriotic as a citizen of Trinidad. So I always enjoy it. Yes.
As a member of the police service, though, do you feel an extra sense of pride seeing your co-workers? I don't know if you call them a batch. See them marching in the streets and stuff like that, and seeing people's response to them. Does that make you feel any particular type of way?
Yes, it does. Indeed, it does. Especially when you see all in white. Or we call patrol order number 1, and you always have a female detachment as well as the men. So for the female, I kind of pay attention to them a little more, and we usually march a little better than the men. We kind of show off there. And then this year we had a woman ASP from Mountain Branch, ASP being Keller. She was the first day as well. So yeah, it was really nice.
It definitely was nice.
You see the pride beaming out of her.
I love it. Absolute joy.
But generally the officers look well. It's one of the occasions we come out, appearance and turnout tops and everything. And they usually prepare like all 3 weeks before in marching, in drill. And then, of course, the week before that, we had 3 days of rehearsal, right?
Yeah.
And then the actual day when Her Excellency comes out and that whole fanfare and all of that. Yeah, it's really nice.
We definitely had an amazing weekend. And we enjoyed, of course, watching everybody who were marching through. Amazing that just, 3 rehearsals, you would have just said?
Well, that's rehearsals at the Savannah.
Correct.
They've been drilling before that. But that's a whole other conversation. All right, so after the independence celebrations, we're getting ready to head back to school.
Right back in school.
Yep.
Not even much spinning, from Saturday into Monday. And so we're expecting this year, 2024, 2025, the academic year has started today, and children are back out in full swing. One of the things that the police service has been doing through the police youth clubs and community-oriented policing section is ensuring to keep young people, children, youths active during that period, so that when time comes for them to go back out to school, that level of concentration is still there, that level of discipline is still there. And so the police officers through youth clubs and through community engagement ensure that they have a safe space to be in, so that transition back into school is not a difficult one. Most times they're going back into a different class, either in a higher form, a different class, generally speaking. And so we know there's some anxiety, some nervousness, some fright even. And so being in that atmosphere with other children and with leaders, it would help that transition period.
Yeah, definitely. It is a challenging transition period for the children and for the parents too, let's be fair. I'm sure you can definitely echo that sentiment.
I'm ready to get them back out in school.
I've been hearing that a lot. Parents happy, children sad.
But how do we prepare them though? I mean, let's talk about what we can do for back to school to ensure that they're safe and to ensure that they're ready for the new school term.
One of the things that we like to admonish parents, guardians, and those with responsibility for children is that yes, you can provide food, shelter, and clothing for them, but giving the children the opportunity to experience love, ensuring that they know that you are there for them, bringing them up to be a disciplined, respectful, law-abiding person in the society is important. It's intangible and it's immeasurable in terms of the product that you're going to get out of that child. So we want to encourage parents in the first instance to maintain that relationship with your child. Keep that open line of communication there, so that when something happens with that child, should something happen, the child is comfortable to come to you. It looks good to have the child have a pretty bag. I was going to say Jansport, but I can't say that again.
It's not up no more.
What is it again?
What is it now?
I don't remember the name of the new one. Spray something. Yeah.
That costing how much money, and the shoes and all of that.
Money.
Those are outside, but the value that we want parents and guardians to put in the child is on the inside, so that the child will be able to stand against criminal influences within the school, to drink alcohol, to smoke, to vape, and of course gang activity. And that really comes with the character of the child from home.
Inspector, can I backtrack before we even get into the school, right? Leaving home on a morning, should parents be inspecting the uniforms to make sure that they are adhering to the standards of the school, to make sure we don't have any run-ins in the school? Because I oftentimes see children leaving home, and I know that's not their school uniform.
So we want parents to pay more attention and be a good role model to your child. Observe, remember in your head and in your heart that what you do, children will do, and how you present yourself and what you say, they're going to follow directly and indirectly. So that if the uniform says that the pants are supposed to be like this, do not pencil the pants and say, well, you like your child to look like this, because you're actually telling the child to disobey the rule of the school. And if the sneaker is supposed to be all black or all white, and you saw one looking really nice because a Nike or a Jordan, and it has a little red or yellow in it, you're actually telling the child to disobey the law of the school. And so as a parent, it starts from home, that you ensure that the child be a disciplined child in the school.
It seems quite trivial, but it's something that's so important as well when it comes to the school uniform in particular.
It is.
Now, one of the things also you just touched on would have been when it comes to, for want of a better expression, bad influence, peers who are partaking in illicit activities. But what about what's going on in the school itself? What about tips for the school? I mean, we do hear stories, and even we see videos circulating on social media of these substances on the school compound. So how do we treat with that?
Just yesterday, I was engaging some officers from Northern Division North, and one of the things that the sergeant there indicated to me is that during this term, as they start back this academic year, they have embarked on what they call man your station, man your section, which is to say that all the officers from the community-oriented policing section within the division and who are attached to police street clubs will be entering into the schools on a more regular basis, ensuring that just what you spoke of, that the police are there to mitigate and to prevent in most cases. What they also are doing is doing what they call the absenteeism or the truancy, anti-truancy/absenteeism patrol. What that really is that where we have children who are problematic and need that support from the police because they're not attending school for whatever reason that is considered truancy, that the officers will actually go to their home, pick up that child and take that child to school. So we have that taking place within Northern Division North, because like I said, I spoke to the officer in charge there, and these are some of the things that the police is doing to ensure that the space that the child is going into is safe, and that we give that support to the family, because sometimes it's a single parent household, and sometimes it's the boys, although we are seeing girls given some really bad, given trouble really, and getting themselves, in criminal activities very openly. So it's boys and girls.
You see, Inspector, you can't want equal opportunity for women and one woman to be at the top of the business, and they expect them to be at the top of the given trouble too. It actually works both ways.
Well, I think what happened is that persons just forgot about, just forgot about the girls and started focusing on the boys, and the girls, they just were allowed to, as a parent, if you have a boy child and a girl child, you allow boys to do certain things, and you have the girls there, and and they say, boy, don't do this, or you give the boy a lot of leeway, and you don't allow. And now we are seeing that, in both cases, whether you have a boy child or a girl child, you need to give them attention equally, because the internet space, they may be in the room, but the internet space could be really, really crucial in their development in a very negative way. So we want to encourage parents to attend the PTAs that the school has. Do not allow your children just let them attend school and you don't be actively involved. And one of the ways that you can do that is to become members of the PT at your school. Have good relationship with the teacher, the form teacher, the school, and the peer and the principal. Visit the school. And this is to ensure that the child knows that you are actively engaged, and if anything happens, they will call you and they will let you know. It doesn't take much as a parent to do that. In other words, you don't have to be a rich parent to be able to be in the school or keep in communication. It's something that you can do very simply. And so every parent, we encourage you to do that. Pay attention to the transport that you allow your child to be in. If it is higher transport, that the driver of that vehicle doesn't have the children squeezed up like sardine in a tin, where you are paying $300, as the case may be, for your child to go to school, and the child, should the police stop that vehicle, all those children in that vehicle can end up in the station because the vehicle is overloaded. So these are some of the things that we like the parents to know in relation to dropping your child to school. And let's say something happens to you and you're unable to pick that child up. What contingency measures have you discussed with your child in relation to that? Who are the persons that can actually come to pick the child up when something like that, an emergency occurs, and who can they call? So as police officer and as the police service, we really want to admonish parents with a new year. The past is in the past, but make your best effort to be there for the child, because being there for the child means that we will have less violent youths in the country. Being actively, positively engaged in your child's life means less youths involved in violent crime, and that is what we want as a society. Not that we see the parents crying after the fact because they allow the child to be raised by them.
Yeah.
I think it's important, the point you made earlier about parents being the role models for the children, because oftentimes, even when some parents attend those PTAs, some of them look disinterested, some of them are angry with the teachers for whatever reason, especially if the teacher were to say something like, your child is giving trouble, my child will give that, and we end up in that situation. So I think it's important for parents to remember, especially in those forums, that you are a role model for your child, and your behavior is going to impact on the child. I think that's a very, very important point to note going forward for all parents as they get ready to head back to school. Yes, join the PTA. Yes, be a part of everything that's happening in school where you can, but importantly, be that role model. Yeah, Inspector, let me thank you so much for joining us this morning to share these back to school tips.
Always a pleasure.
And congratulations to you and your whole batch on the Independence Parade.
Thank you very much. We receive it.
All right, guys, we take a quick break and we come back with your birthdays on the Now Morning Show, so stick around.
Love and peace.